Yeah, you walking with dreams, but dreams ain't enough. Yeah, this is the land where softness dies and steel gets tough. This is the furnace where the wheat get thinned. Welcome to the journey from boys to Bama men. To Bama men. Listen, you show up bright-eyed, thinking you're strong, thinking Friday night glory gonna carry you long. But this is Tuscaloosa, this is sacred ground, where every false king gets stripped of his crown. You learn quick, time fades when the grind begins, and only the chosen rise from boys to Bama men. Bear Bryant's ghost still walks these halls. Saban's echo still shakes these walls. You feel the weight of every ring, every title, every king. From Nama Smacker to Henry Stride. This is where boys grow into crimson tide. From boys to Bama men, this is the transformation. Plain is the sermon, great is the revelation. If you want the jersey, break your limits, baby. Only the chosen rise from boys to Bama men. It's a tight sports creation. From boys to Bama men. You'll run till your lungs burn holes in your chest. Lift to your arms, refuse to rest. Coaches cuss, teammates push. Every weakness exposed, every fear you hush. But somewhere in the sweat, in the grind, and again you stop being a boy. And a Bama man steps in. You feel the ghosts of legends pass, pushing you forward, making you laugh. Their next purity is chased down. Langham's locked down Henry's crown. This is the standard, heaviest sin, but that's the price to becoming a Bama man. And when the lights hit, when the crowd roars loud, when you stand on the field in front of the crowd, you feel the truth rising deep within. You didn't just join Bama, you became a Bama man. This is a life, sports creation. Boys to Bama men. From boys to Bama men. For transformation. Pain is the sermon. Pain is the revelation. If you want the jersey, only the chosen. Only the chosen. Life, works, boys, creation. From boys to Bama men. Rise through the fire. Break every limit. Climb higher and higher. This is the gospel of the crimson den. Only the chosen rise. Rise, Bama men. Bama men. Bama men. Bama men.
Roll Tide and welcome back to Tight Sports. Guys, we got to get into this next athlete that has decided to join the Crimson Tide in the class of 2026. His name is Mack Sutter. Now, a lot of people may say, you know, what does this guy do? This guy do a lot of stuff. He do a lot of stuff. He plays some quarterback. He plays some of this. He plays some of that. But he is coming over as a tight end, folks. And before I get into the footage, I want you to remember, please subscribe, share these videos, invite people over. Join me Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central. You know how they go. And, you know, join me for my show, Around the Herd. Go live, talk about Alabama stuff, whatever. Watch the replay. We have a good time, best time I can give you. And let's get into this stuff. Y'all don't want to hear about me. Y'all want to hear about Mack Sutter. Okay. This guy is 230 pounds, 6'5" tight end from DUNLAP High School, who decided the only place that worth playing, you know, for real is in Tuscaloosa. And we appreciate him coming on over. He was a top 100 player, #1 prospect in Illinois. And for the 2026 class, he carries himself like he knows exactly what that means. You may notice something here. This guy is he was kind of a gadget guy. Now I'm gonna just tell you, you gotta really look for them to point out who's who, because you may see him at wideout. That's right, I said tight end, but you may see him at wideout. You may see him in the slot. You may see him at tight end. You may see him at halfback. You might even see this guy at quarterback. You may see him as a halfback. And he line up wherever he feel like it. He may see him at safety. You might see him at linebacker. he kind of, he be all over the place, but he has been signed by us as a tight end. We know we need a tight end. We need all the tight ends we get because, the board will play. I looked at their schematic. They have a position for a X tight end and a Y tight end, if I'm not mistaken. Or they call it tight end X, tight end Y, whatever. So I guess you got tight ends do different things. And one's a lot of 4 tight end and 2 tight end sets, maybe even 3, because we got to run the ball this year. But anyway, back to Mack. He's a physical build. He's a nightmare for defense with a frame that can easily add more muscle without losing any of his fluidity that makes him so dangerous. The moves, he moves like a big receiver, but he hits like a tight end who is, who grew up lifting tractors for fun. That was a joke. I missed the rim shot on that, but I'll give him a slap. How about that? I saw some things here. Like, I think that play right there, the guy was playing like defensive end or something. He's all over the place. I mean, we know people that, they play both sides of the ball. You may play some return. When you're in high school, this guy played wherever they need him. And that makes him one thing, an athlete. And that's what we need. Sometimes you need athletes. You don't know where he may grow up and just, let's say he got an eating problem. Look at that. That's a pick 6 from a defensive end. Come on, man. It's a pick 6 from the defensive end position. And this him at wide out, double cover, come down with the ball. They going deep. He threw his hand up a long time ago. No, that was his buddy. But he cut across the middle, took a hit. First down. Tight end position, finally. Slot, up the seam. I want to see a lot of this from University of Alabama. Yep, stay on that line. Yeah, wide out. I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, his playing style has been described as a combination of violence and finesse with route running that creates a natural separation and body control that lets him win any contested catch. He is an above the rim finisher, in basketball. That translates directly to his ability to elevate and humiliate defenders at the catch point. In 2025, he was expected to be his national breakout year. It was. The board picked up on him a little bit ahead of that. But his film took over and everybody started making offers to him. His film shows him playing quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, edge, linebacker. And that's the kind of versatility that's rare among elite prospects. Like I said, he's a 4-star, but he's elite. They probably he a quarterback right here. What are you going to do with the ball? Going down the field, threw it off his back foot, don't like that. But it's like a first down. Rolling out. Dude think he got something. He gonna turn it up. 20-yard game. That's nice. Where we at now? Tight end. Caught him in the flats. Missed 2 guys to tackle him. Wide out. I mean, it goes on. He don't stop. He does not stop at all. He's a multi-sport background. Basketball explosiveness makes him a nightmare in space. And he's a menace in the red zone when the tight end can jump like a small forward and run like a big slot. You're dealing with a weapon. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him line up behind Noah Rogers and Sadarian Morgan. Why not? And if not this year, maybe next year. Once Ryan Williams goes to the NFL as a number 1 draft pick, maybe have a trophy winner. I'm just saying, throwing it out there. He's a weapon, man. This is a weapon. He's not a position. It's a weapon. What if he just leave him in that gadget thing, He becomes our, what's the guy that played out in New Orleans? He becomes that for us. He does our tush push. I can't think of his name. He does our tight end work. You know what I mean? He goes into the slot. He does wide out stuff at the goal line. Comes back, does like an illegal crackback block on an offensive lineman, on a defensive lineman. Or a legal one. Or at least set a pick. How about that? And the line of scrimmages can be considered legal because you don't know where he's coming from. Is he going to get the ball? Is he going to throw the ball? Like them gadget guys. His awards have stacked up as being ranked one of the top tight ends in the country. He's the top player in the state. I think he's the number 1 player in the state. He's a counter prospect who makes recruiting analysts rewrite their notes just after watching a couple of plays. The positive of his game is obvious. Starting with his tenaciousness and his ability to just be flexible. But they want to talk about his lift. his catch radius. The experts talking about his ability to create separation against both linebackers and safeties. He's a true Martin tight end, though, who can line up, in line, in the slot, and wide out, backfield. If Alabama wants to get weird, we want to get sick with it. And Lord knows, that's what it may take to win the next championship. Look at it, got to end it on that safety. He's beat. Ball's a quarter step late, but he's still going to go to the end zone. Ooh, that was a tough, stiff arm right there. God. Now, here we go at defensive end, making the play on the zone read. Yep. Where we at now? Tight end, wide open. That was a well-thrown ball because he beat that defender at the last minute with that ball. I missed where we lined up. Was that tailback this time? What was that, slot? Because Josh Quaver stayed in that slot. He stayed in that slot. I'm telling you, Caleb Epps was there. And Caleb Epps was a big-time basketball power, more like a power forward. This guy, Mack Sutter, is more like a small forward. Hey, let's run it, man. 92 Bulls, Lakers, Showtime, whatever. Let's run this. Let's do this. I don't care who catches the ball. Just catch it. They say they got some areas of improvement. They all young. That's why you come to the factory, to get built into a legacy. And if not, you leave as lethal. You know, he is mostly polished, but, you know, got to get his routes down for his position. He also got to work on his consistent blocking leverage. Some of these plays in here, he shows where he blocks pretty well for a high school guy on the outside right there. Outrunning the cornerback, making the catch. Wow. But those are easy things to fix at Alabama. And when you have that frame, that athleticism, the hands, the competitive fire, and you're willing to work, you're willing to put it out there because you want to be the next person on the legacy chart. Hey, the rest is just coaching and reps, man. That's all it is. You got to be willing to work. If he's coming here ready to work, then we the place for him. And this guy seems like he don't mind working. He has a real competitive fire, and I'm just excited to see what's going to happen with him. We got the new coach in. There's Coach Owens, who's tight end coach. He seems like he believes in tight ends doing two things very well. One is block. The other one is be a tight end. So I love it. This might be the man for him. They're gonna probably add a little size to him because you're gonna need it in the SEC. You want to get his body torn. It may take a year or so to get him there, but if he can just maintain some of that speed, he'll be just fine. The answer being clear that Sutter is one of the most dynamic tight end prospects in the country, and Alabama has beaten out Ohio State, Illinois, and Ole Miss, which shows you exactly how high his ceiling is. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he did do a verbal to Illinois. And then that guy who you guys call your head coach, to the Bama faithful out there, he just walked up to Illinois and looked around. He was like,
"Hey girl, you gonna eat your cornbread? Maybe I ought to eat your cornbread."
The boy has been snatching food off folks' tables so much. I'm kind of getting a little embarrassed, but then I'm happy that he's able to do it. You know, this isn't just a good get. This is a national statement. You're taking people from Ohio State, taking some people from Illinois. I mean, who cares? Illinois has been doing better, but it ain't Ohio State. So that's a national statement. And he brings to Alabama is a massive, athletic, multidimensional pass catcher who can break defenses in half from any alignment. He is the kind of player that makes offensive coordinators get greedy and make defensive coordinators miserable. Like I told y'all, lean in. Don't nobody check tight end, not even NFL. Don't tell nobody that. Nobody checks tight end. The defenses work better when they don't check the tight end. You think I'm lying? Keep watching football. It will make you think like, first of all, you say tight was right, and why is that? And why everybody don't take advantage of it, I don't know. We do at the University of Alabama. Don't nobody check the tight end. You heard it here first. I'm not sure if he's in school right now. It could get a heart, become get him a head start to get ready. I don't think he'll be ready like in the first year because we got people ahead of him that have already been in the system. They've all been working. Like Caleb Edwards been in the system. He's already got playing times, been working since last year. But we kind of light at tight end. We had a guy getting the Porter and came back. Got Caleb Edwards. I don't know who that guy is. Derek Meadows. I can't think of his name. But Caleb Edwards is in the catbird seat. But we lost I think 4 tight ends over the last 2 years. So who knows? If he gets there early, he may be able to be a contributor. Walking in Tuscaloosa with the tools to compete immediately. He's built for the SEC. I mean, definitely can put him on special teams if nothing else. I think he's going to be he might end up being one of the key contributors that you probably never hear about. He just, I'm glad he thought that Alabama was a place worth catching passes for. And he's committed to the Tide. The second he got the offer, because real ballers don't hesitate when greatness calls. This dude is a straight line torpedo with explosion that make defensive backs look kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that he made the commitment, to remind the country that Alabama still runs this sport, still owns the recruiting trail, and still stacks weapons like no one else. Mack Sutter puts on that helmet, and the rest of the SEC is going to realize, it's just another future problem. They just signed another problem over there. They over there doing the most as usual. I don't know how they playing for these players. Just go ahead and say we cheating, haters. That's all y'all been saying that we do is cheat. We cheat when you can't even cheat. But if we win a national championship, what you gonna say then, haters? What you gonna say then? That's him blocking right there. This is him at defensive end. Oh, knock the ball down. Hey man, knock the back to the quarterback. Golly, y'all can't play no defense with him? Anyway, folks, I'm gonna get out of here. I love it. I can't wait. Until next time, always remember, roll tide.
Some players are born, some players are made, but only a chosen few survive the fire and walk out carrying legendary DNA. Welcome to the lineage where the blood remembers. You can't fake this grind, can't cheat this test, can't hide from the tide when it's time to impress. This ain't hype, this is blood, sweat, and scars. This is fighting through darkness to outshine the stars. Every drill is a war, every rep is a fight, every weakness exposed under briny lights. Yeah, Tramel toughness, Jordan's rage, neighbors carved history page by page. Name swagger, Perkins speed, crowd stood tall when the world took heed. Oh, you'll be dead, Sheely led. This is where legends break bread with the dead. Legendary DNA, running through the tide. You can't outrun it, can't step aside. If you want the honor, better earn your stay. Only warriors carry legendary DNA. Legendary DNA. Legendary DNA. Legendary DNA. Cornelius Bennett, Thunderstrike. He chased Miami down the field that night. Alexander ran like a runaway train. Henry stiff arm fate and inflicted pure pain. Smitty sword, Bryce Young blessed. Every era asked the same thing. Who's next? You'll bleed in the dark before you shine in the light. You'll break in the morning before you rise at night. Coaches cussed, trainers pushed out attacks. But the tide don't fold, the tide fights back. This is where fear gets crushed and buried, where the weight of the past must be carried. Julio's power, Amory's glide, Ridley's cuts left corners fried. Quinn and Havoc, Allen's might, Will Anderson ending the night. This is the altar where warriors pray. This is a tight sports create. Legendary DNA, heading through the tide. You can outrun it, can't step aside. If you want the honor,